God gave me 7 codes for someone who is tired of being a man. I know you may be saying, well, I'm not called. I'm not talking to prophets. I'm not talking to apostles. I'm not talking to pastors. I'm not talking to teachers. I'm not talking to evangelists. I'm talking to believers. Some of you, what you need is to conquer the academia. Some of you, what you need is to conquer the corridor of government. Some of you, what you need is to conquer the economic front. But human connection will never be enough. So there's a wisdom you need to tap into. So when we are talking transition, we are not talking about carrying a microphone to preach. We are talking about going into all the world and discipling all nations. What you disciple the nation with is not Matthew chapter 3 verse 14. It's not John chapter 3 verse 16. What you disciple the nation with is what you have caught. And so if you have caught a wisdom, disciple the nation after that order. If you have caught a power, disciple the nation after that order. Because God is raising an assembly. This is why we are called the ecclesia. It means we are a legislative body. So those who represent power from your spiritual tribe, when they come into the quorum, they come with power. Those who represent wisdom from a spiritual tribe, when they come into the quorum, they come with power. Discipling all the nations is not for us to read the book of one teacher and all of us are teaching everything. That is foundational. But when we enter through discipleship, you are actually taught or instructed to mentor people after what you have caught in God. And so when you are done mentoring people, some will see, some will heal, some will carry wisdom, some will know sounds. And when we gather together, we will not be counting numbers. The attendance today was 300. That's wrong count. Because when we gather in the ecclesia, we don't count number, we count dimensions. How many dimensions came for the meeting? Because every dimension represents a spiritual quorum, and that is the ordinance for legislation. When we gather in the ecclesia, we are counting the graces that were represented. But that cannot happen except as men begin to catch their dimensions. When you come to House on the Rock, you know that excellence dwells here. Because somebody caught it. And it became a signature of a tribe. This is what the ecclesia is about. But you must find your divine dimension. If you don't find it, hear this, sir. You may write a book, but you left nothing for your word. Because that book you wrote, you echoed somebody else's voice. If you don't find it, you may preach messages, but you left nothing for your word. Because that message you preach, you echoed somebody's voice. But when you find a virgin dimension and you bring it, it's your own. And when you leave it, it becomes your legacy to your generation. Many people are in politics, they are not adding anything. Many people are in ministry, they are not adding anything. Many people are in business, they are not adding anything. They are just echoing what somebody caught in 1854. And what we are teaching today as new creation is the revelation of EWK. What we are teaching today as the prophetic is the revelation of Maron Branham. And since these guys caught this, nobody has gone further. That's why today, every time we preach new creation, it's about healing. But there is an order of new creation that is a syllable superior to healing. Is by location. There is an order of the new creation that is superior to healing. It's called immortality. But nobody has been able to improve on the syllable that EWK brought. So everybody teaching new creation, when they say everything in heaven and on earth, they end with healing. But when a dimension is caught, the next person that will go beyond where EWK went, he won't come back with healing. When he teaches new creation, men will stand up and walk through the wall. Because Jesus, who is the first of the new creation, when he entered the room, he entered through the wall. This is where the church of Christ is going to. And when the rapture comes, we would have understood new creation. Because what will happen is that men will be clothed with their heavenly bodies. Because in the rapture, what happens is that we wear our heavenly tabernacle and we move. Men are not hungry. We are satisfied with podiums. We are satisfied with excellence. We are satisfied with talking. Meanwhile, 99% of what we are doing are echoes. This is why Christianity is being disadvantaged. Because the revelation we are working with was the revelation they caught in 1840, which was enough to defeat their world. Now we are in a world where darkness have advanced, but light have not advanced. In the days of UWK, their worst crisis was sickness. So they needed a light that contended with sickness. You are in a generation of bomb blast. You are teaching new creation, and you think new creation is just about healing the sick. What if a terrorist enters your building? The new creation we must teach now is the new creation that our body refuses to detonate. And so when they enter the church and the bomb blast, they will be the only person who will be blasted. Everybody will be intact because your vibration, you tell your cells, be intact. And none of your cell will be exploded. You will look at the wall of your building and tell the wall of the building, remain intact. And you will allow that bomb to explode because that person is about to be judged. If you don't want it and you want to convert that person, you will tell the bomb, don't detonate. He will remove all the buttons. He will remain there. That is new creation. And when we master it, if bomb wants to detonate, you can tell your church, let's go to the other side. And the whole church and the whole members, we move from the location to another location. The bomb blast will stand alone. You can travel not alone, but with your congregation, because they have understood it. All of these are available in God. But men are not seeking transition. We are comfortable with what we have. And we are using it, merchandising it, and living for flesh. A generation will rise and will be hungry. And say, thank God for what the Father has found. It's our own time to fight something else. Paul said, according as it is written, they believe and have spoken. We, having the same spirit of faith, we believe and therefore we speak. Are you ready for transition? Don't be a businessman because you are in a bar. It means you have not seen light. Some of you are destined to be businessmen, but some of you are supposed to be inventors. That you are in a bar and there are materials everywhere does not mean everybody should become a clothes seller. If everybody is a clothes seller, it means nobody is tapping into light. Elohim Adonai. Elohim Adonai. When you go to Benue, 90% of the Christians are civil servants. Because that's what's predominant. When you come to the east, 90% of the Christians are businessmen. Because that's what's predominant. It means we are not journeying. We are not journeying. Because if we are journeying, every day, people will be stepping into new things. Because they would have caught something in God. A generation of discoverers. A generation of seekers. A generation of men who will invent things because of the dimension of God they have is about to rise. And you are a part of that generation. You know, we are in a time when, if you say you are a Christian, one of three things will happen to you. Number one, your life is endangered. If you say you are a Christian today, be careful where you are saying it. There are many places today, if you dare say you are a Christian, you are endangered. That's why you can't be ordinary. It's either because you have caught something in God that makes you literally invincible, or you have caught something in God that makes you too relevant for them to want to hurt you. So they have no choice, they leave you. If you say you are a Christian today, if you are not endangered, you are fake. The world looks at you as a nuisance. All these fake religious people talking and talking and talking, doing nothing. If you say you are a Christian today, you are not endangered or you are not called fake, then you are a victim of marginalization. Because they know you have no support. You say so much about a God that you can't prove. You talk so bogusly about a power you can't demonstrate. You talk so big about a wisdom they can't see. So it's either you are endangered, or you are considered fake, or you become an object of marginalization. But we will rewrite that order. Because when we show up and we say we are Christians, they will fear us. Because they know that if they do anything, even nature is subject to us. We can speak and they will be endangered. Or when we show up and we say we are Christians, they will be careful. Because if they fight us, they may just discover that the whole oil in that city, we are producing it. And if we withdraw, the whole city will be in trouble. Meanwhile, these are the things that should come out from church. But church have become, today, Putin will come up and threaten the whole Europe and say, be careful. Be careful. If I withdraw Russia from the economy, you are in trouble. They say they want to sanction him, they can't. Because they supply 20% of the world's natural gas. How do you sanction them? Our airlines are about to shut down now. Because something is happening in Russia. Far away in Africa, domestic airlines are about to shut down because something is happening in Russia. The flow of oil, the flow of natural gas is being hijacked. Things are beginning to go wrong. Travel around the world today, things have been stiff and stiffened because one man is shaking the whole world. When would a Christian rise with so much stature? He's too relevant to be ignored. So if you don't have supernatural power, you need supernatural wisdom that makes you too relevant to be ignored. They threaten you, they know they are threatening the well-being of the state. That's Christianity. Because you have caught a wisdom. And that wisdom has children that are proven by what they have. But it's a journey.